The woman lived with her boyfriend for 7 years. When she opened her boyfriend's closet for the first time, she found that it was full of her boyfriend's clothes. At this moment, the woman made up her mind again. So when her boyfriend called and said that the first love's clothes were dirty and needed the woman to send one over, the woman obeyed him for the last time. But when she opened the door, she saw the first love sitting with her boyfriend, still covered with her boyfriend's clothes. But at this time, the woman didn't want to question him. She calmly put down the clothes, and then took out a contract for the man to sign. Until then, the man's eyes were still following the first love, not knowing that the woman handed him a resignation report. The reason why the woman was so determined was that they had been in love for many years. They were originally a couple that everyone envied. But since the first love returned to China, the man had completely changed. One day, the woman went to the hospital for a checkup and learned that she was pregnant. She planned to wait for the man to come back from a business trip to tell him, but a gust of wind blew away the prenatal examination report. The woman got up to chase him, but was hit by a speeding car. Seeing that the child was about to be lost, the woman called the man immediately. But the man was busy comforting the frightened first love at the moment, and the woman looked up and found that the man was sitting in the car in front of her. In the end, a kind person sent the woman to the hospital, but the child was not saved. The woman cried every day at home, but the man disappeared for several days in a row. He finally came home with a smell of alcohol on his body and expressed his annoyance at the woman's crying. At this moment, the woman was completely disappointed. Looking at the ring that the man threw to her, with the first love's name on it, the woman did not hesitate to call her uncle and asked him to pick her up home. Then the woman also started to pack her luggage, but even though she was leaving, the man didn't take it to heart. Instead, he said that the first love would go to work at the company today and he would pick her up in person, and asked the woman to take a taxi later. When the woman heard this, she immediately remembered that she was working in the company and was made difficult by her boss. But the man was indifferent. In sharp contrast, the woman immediately drafted a resignation report. But soon the man called her and ordered her around as usual. At the beginning, the man vacated his closet just because the scheming woman said that there were too many clothes at home. Seeing that the house was full of the scheming woman's clothes, the woman didn't want to have too much entanglement with them anymore. When the woman walked into the human resources department with the resignation report, her colleagues were very surprised. Why did she suddenly want to resign when she always cared about the man? It was not until they saw the man's name on the report that they mistakenly thought it was the man's intention. The man, who was completely unaware, was still with the scheming woman at this moment. Suddenly, the assistant ran in.